a video on rationalising the denominator. So when we're working with fractions, it's often easy to work with rational denominators. Okay, so that's whole numbers without surds in it. So where a surd appears in the denominator of a fraction, we use a process called rationalising to remove it. Okay, so what we're going to do, by example, I'm going to show you how to rationalise or take out the surd from these fractional expressions down here. So what we're actually doing is we're not changing the number. We're actually creating an equivalent fraction without a root in it. Okay, and the way you do that is multiply. So if you have a look at this first one, I'll do it in large print up here. So 2 root 3. What we're aiming to do is to not change the fraction. It's actually to make an equivalent fraction of the same value without a surd in it. So the way I can do that is to times it by 1. Or a way of doing, I can times anything by 1, I get the same number. So a way of expressing 1 as a surd would be to go, I can say it's root 3 over root 3. Okay, root 3 over root 3 is another way of writing 1. Okay, you can express 1 as any fraction of two numbers exactly the same on top of each other. Okay, so you're not actually changing anything. All right, you're actually just creating an equivalent fraction. But so what happens here, if you remember your fraction rules, is these two numbers get multiplied together, and these two numbers get multiplied together, top and top, bottom and bottom. Okay, so what happens in the bottom, if you remember, root 3 times root 3 is just going to be, write it out in a step first, root 3 squared, and the top one will be 2 root 3. Okay, so what that gives me, in effect, is 2 root 3, okay, and we know that root 3 squared is just 3. Okay, so that's what that's done is just created a whole number down the bottom here, whole number fraction denominator, that is equivalent to this. These are the same thing. Okay, we haven't actually changed anything. We've just made an equivalent fraction. All right, so the rule, that's what I had this space for. The rule is to multiply top and bottom by the surd. Okay, so multiply top and bottom by the surd that appears in the denominator. Okay, it doesn't have to be the whole surd term, just the surd, so the number underneath the square root sign. Okay, so we've done that one there. Let's tackle the second one here. So what's the number that appears, the surd that appears in the denominator? It's root 5. So let's multiply the bottom by root 5 and the top by root 5. Okay, we're not concerned about the top being a surd, it's just the denominator. Okay, sorry, it should be times root 5 over root 5. Alright, so in this one, the bottom gives us 5 root 5 all squared, and the top gives us 3 root 2 times root 5. Let's move this up. Okay, so 3 root 2 times root 5 is going to be 3 root 10. The bottom is going to give us root 5 squared is 5. And that's it. Okay, so there might be some changes. I think you might be able to sometimes simplify that, but you should. Let's do this next one. So the surd that appears in the bottom here is root 7. Okay, you don't have to times by root 5 root 7, it's just root 7 over root 7. Okay, so let's see what happens here. On the top line, we get 2 root 6 times root 7, and on the bottom, we get 5 root 7 times root 7. Okay, now the top line gives us 2 root 42, and the bottom line gives us 5, and root 7 times root 7 is just 7. Okay, so finally, simplifying that down, we get 2 root 42 over 35. Okay, so that's that one done. There's no more. Actually, there is. What we can do something there. If you can simplify a surd, you should. So you look at 42, and does it have any square factors? I don't think so. 16. I think that's okay. Finally, this last one, we're going to multiply both top and bottom by root 3. Okay, now this one's going to give us a bracket because we've got two terms in the that first line there. So the way you'd write this is root 3 in brackets 1 root 3, and on the bottom line you'd say root 3, we can do all squared. Okay, that's probably the easy bit. Okay, so this one you have to expand. Alright, so root 3 times 1 is just root 3. Now, root 3 times negative root 3, the answer is going to be a negative, and you're going to have a root 3 squared, because root 3 times root 3 is root 3 squared. Alright, so let's put that over. Now, our bottom line is root 3 all squared, which will be equal to 3. And the top line, let's do it all again, is root 3 minus square root of 3 squared is 3 over 3. Okay, so that's it. Have a go at a couple of the easier questions in your question set and see if you can master that. Bye for now.